over the years, I've interviewed or at least spoken to almost all of the Chosen cast. However, there is one cast member that I have avoided, to be completely honest. Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus, is an amazing actor, and yet it's hard for me to reconcile him playing Jesus and being a normal actor. It's a really difficult thing, not that I'm confusing him with Jesus, not that I'm holding him up in a higher place, but I think that other people do that. And so for me, I really have struggles with interviewing him or talking to him because I know that people will take it out of hand, like they have many, many times before. This is something that I'm very careful about, not because I dislike Jonathan Rumi. I love him. I think he's amazing as an actor and he plays the part insanely well. Definitely something that God has made him for. But for me and my channel and my audience, I think it can be a dangerous thing for me to delve into. And clearly I'm not the only one that thinks this way. Jonathan Rumi just posted on his Instagram this short clip of an upcoming documentary, and I wanted to check it out with you guys. Let me know what you guys think, and let's walk through this together. Here we go.
A woman was in the back of the church crying out to him and calling him Jesus.
This is like the best day of my life.
This is just bizarre.
Yeah, man, I've talked about this a lot over on the Snipe Life, especially previously. If this is something that you do, you go up to Jonathan Rumi and you say, "I love you, Jesus," stop watching the show. You need to stop watching The Chosen. This is one of the few cases in which I think it really, really is a bad sentiment to continue to do this, because you're putting him in a situation where he feels uncomfortable. You're putting yourself in a situation where you are idolizing someone who is not Jesus, right? Even if the show has helped you learn things, even if the show has brought you closer to God, it's not Jonathan Rumi that's doing that. It's God that's doing that through the show, okay? So I'll start off with that. Just do not do this. Please don't do this.
Jesus Christ, that has to be a huge responsibility.
Alice Cooper here, obviously talking to him. Really, really interesting.
So this is it? This is the beginning? This is the start?
This is the start.
Okay.
Right now is the start.
My life has gotten pretty insane the last year.
The Chosen is the first multi-season series about the life of Christ.
It's also the highest crowd-funded TV project of all time.
Christianity is the largest religious audience in the world, and there's nobody that's playing Jesus at this scale.
When you're playing a really iconic character like Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, to think about how many people The Chosen has reached, and that it is the best Christian TV show of all time. Best performing, most making, right? The biggest crowdfunded, most watched. It is huge. And having Jonathan, in a lot of ways, people see him as the center of that. It's gotta be so crazy, but it's changed his life so much. And I'm sure you'll see a lot more of that as we go into this as well.
You feel like you have extra responsibilities.
When you look over the centuries, Jesus is depicted in every medium, and he continues to be referenced over and over again in culture.
You're Talladega Jesus.
I like to
Talladega Nights.
Picture Jesus in a tuxedo t-shirt.
Oh my gosh, I hate it when they have Jesus in shows like this. It's so stupid because they're always making fun of him. They're always like mocking him. It's very, very annoying.
Is that our dinner table?
Does anything make you feel more uncomfortable than some stranger going, "I'd like to talk to you about Jesus"?
He has expressed to me that he...
So that's Jonathan meeting the Pope. I believe Dallas was here as well during that time in Rome. Interesting. Not a huge fan of this Pope, for sure. Not a huge fan of any Pope, to be honest with you, but especially this one.
does have a desire to learn more about Jesus.
I believe this is his wife, which we do not hear much about at all. Either his wife or his sister. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head.
What could this carpenter from a forgotten corner of the Roman Empire possibly have to say to our world today?
I have so much to talk to you about.
That's Francis Chan, obviously a major pastor in today's world. Has done a lot of different things, including living in China underground for several years.
The whole Jesus Christ thing, what do you do with that?
I meet people that tell me that when they pray to Jesus, they see my eyes.
If that's the case, don't do that. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you really want to support more Chosen content and Christian media content coming up in the future, we could really use your help over on patreon.com/thesnipelife. This is where we'll put all of our behind the scenes content and the most amount of content for season 4, 5, 6, and 7 of The Chosen. There's going to be so much on there, especially when they start filming season 5. You're going to want to be a part of it. It's going to be amazing, and it's all going to be on patreon.com. That's the best way to help support us and to keep us doing what we're doing here on YouTube. If you like our breakdowns and our reactions and everything else that we do on this channel, it's honestly an amazing way to help us out. Anyway, let's get back to the video. If you're praying and you see Jonathan Rumi's face, there is a problem there, okay? And we need to talk about that, for sure. We need to talk about that.
But is he the Messiah? He's not trying to be the Messiah. He's not on that trip.
It's starting to scare me. My life has always been, in some way,
yeah, hearing Jonathan say it's starting to scare me, it should, right? At some level, it definitely should, for sure.
Behind the character.
You can't make everyone happy, so you do what you can.
For somebody who cares about control, the idea of surrender seems like the absolute worst outcome.
How do I not be this when I don't want to be? How do I turn it off?
Yeah, how do I turn it off? That's a good question. And how do you turn it off for other people, right? Because they see you and immediately think Jesus. They see you and they immediately think of an impact that could never be quantified, right? Not only is he the star, quote unquote, of this show, but he's also playing the most influential human to have ever lived, right? So yeah, it's a hard thing. It's a really hard thing.
Everyone is looking for three things in life: purpose, love,
and of course Allah Safi, who plays Simon Z,
and connection.
It's not till you get to the end of yourself that you get to the beginning of something else.
I know it's a lot of pressure, but some people will form an opinion about God based on
Greg Laurie, major part of the Jesus movement early on. Of course, Jonathan Rumi had a lot of moments with him doing Jesus Revolution when he did that movie.
Hey, Jesus! What's going on?
See, like that stuff to me, just it annoys me so much. The hey Jesus, I love you Jesus. He's not Jesus. Like he's just playing a character. Like I don't know. It's crazy to me.
You ready?
The other characters, it doesn't bother me as much. The other characters I can understand, like it's not as big of a deal because those were just people anyway, right? Like John and Peter and all these apostles or Mary Magdalene or Jesse at the pool of Bethesda, like these are just characters, right? They're just human beings. And so it's not as big of a deal for me, but for Jesus, it's like you cannot see him that way. Like you just can't. It's too close. It's too distorted, and it's really dangerous in my opinion.
An entirely life-altering experience, and I have no idea where it's going to go. But here I am.
So this is really interesting. We don't get any other information about what entirely this is or when it's coming out. Looks like a documentary that's been filmed a long time ago, because this is a while ago that a lot of this footage was shown. But man, it is interesting, right? Jonathan Rumi plays Jesus Christ, and that's not a small task, right? He does an amazing job. I love him in the show. I think he does so well. But the things that he has to go through being a method actor and dealing with these different people interacting with him, it's got to mess with you at some level, right? And it's got to mess with other people that interact with you as well. And that's such a hard thing to navigate. So I don't envy him in any way. I don't envy the Chosen team that has to navigate all of that. But man, it's definitely going to be interesting to see his perspective on things and see what is actually going on behind the scenes. What is actually, what is his heart saying, you know, and how does he feel about the whole situation? What precautions does he take, et cetera, et cetera. So really looking forward to whatever this is. We'll definitely keep you updated here on The Chosen Sleuth. So make sure you subscribe and make sure you're here for all of our future content in season 4, season 5, and beyond as we jump into The Chosen and all of the other Christian media projects that we're really interested in this year.